Hello, so this is my reflection 5, and I'm gonna answer the questions. Was shifting your perspective difficult for this project? What was your experience like? What confused you most about this project, if anything? I'm gonna look over there a few times because my, scroll drawing is over there. But I found this, difficult trying to figure out, because the instructions asked for different perspectives put in there, so it's not just one perspective, it's looking at it from different angles and views while you were walking outside. So I feel like I captured a bit of that, two ways, so different directions. I didn't actually receive any peer feedback or on my page. I don't know if maybe it was put somewhere else, because I know that we were put into groups for peer feedback. I didn't see any on mine, so I didn't really have anything to go off of, really. But I did actually, from my first try to my 50%, I had changed it completely, because the first original one, my feedback from you was that it was a good start, and that, kind of identifying what was actually on the page. And I realized that, I was kind of just trying to freehand getting things down on the page at first, but I actually went back and actually just changed my, what I was doing, and I made the line straighter and just made, it a lot neater and cleaner looking than the first time around, because that was kind of me just trying to jot down what I was looking at. But I think that this project, it wasn't too difficult, I feel like. It didn't make my brain hurt. I liked being able to incorporate the colors. That was cool. Kind of just adding a little bit to the page was cool, and it actually worked for me, because I colored in a lot of just because I have the sidewalk going all the way through mine, kind of just showing that I was walking along the sidewalk and seeing these things either beside me or in front of me. And I think it was kind of cool to incorporate that, because it was there was a lot of chalk outside of my house, so that kind of was cool to kind of capture that on the sidewalk on my drawing. So that was cool. And on to the next question, because that was long. One of the Eastern perspective from the scavenger hunt, I picked the one that I did that was the wandering version of it. I picked a very colorful and busy drawing. I really liked it personally, just because it's cool. I love seeing bright colors. I love seeing, just crazy things in artwork, because I feel like that's how artwork is supposed to be, not exactly just strictly neat and beautiful things. Sometimes it's nice to have unique things, and I think that's all about what the wandering perspective is just having a unique personal view of it, because it's wandering isn't something it's scripted. It's kind of you just freehand it and you're just going with it, and I like that perspective a lot. I personally didn't add that into my project, the wandering perspective. A bit of the colors, because I did use some colors in my project, but I didn't add that perspective in as the wandering perspective per se. So that answers that one. Did I make any changes to my Eastern perspective drawing after the critique? If so, what did I change? If not, what suggestions were made? I only got suggestions and feedback from you, so I kind of just redid what I had originally had, because I was going from a different part of outside of my house that was kind of more difficult for me to capture, and I kind of was just struggling with trying to put that on the page with understanding what things are and where it is, just because it's hard to my neighborhood's kind of like a circle, and like I kind of walked off a little further than just right out in front of my house to kind of capture the part that I did put on the scroll. So I did make personal changes that I kind of reflected on my own and was like, I want to change this. I want to like kind of redo this and make this better. So I made it like neater, made sure the lines were straight, because I always like when the lines are like crisp and clean, and like I use that ruler to like make my lines look good. And yeah. This project had more room for creative thinking than some of the others have in the past. Did having fewer restrictions make it easier or harder for you to come up with a solution? I liked having fewer restrictions because it kind of was like I can look at something and be like, I want to draw that without having to think what I can't do. So this was a lot freer, and I feel like that made it less difficult to do, honestly, in my opinion, because I was able to just draw freely and I didn't have to stick to any like rules or restrictions saying that I can't do this. So I did like having fewer restrictions. That made it less difficult for me to do it. What do I think the relationship between rules and restrictions and creativity is for you? I don't really know, honestly. I don't really know how to answer that question. Yeah. What I think that's saying is like, how does that make it creative for me? It's kind of like I don't have to listen to a set of rules to go off of for my drawing. I can just kind of freehand it, do what I wanted to, make it unique to what I have in my mind, and go from there. I don't know if I answered that correctly, but I just did the best I can. But yeah, overall, this unit wasn't too bad, not crazy challenging. It was kind of cool having the whole scroll thing, kind of putting that together, you know. That was kind of cool and very unexpected, because I didn't think we would do something like that, but I was like very curious when we started the unit. I was like, what is this? Like, this is new, where we're like cutting paper and pasting it to other paper, and it ended up being kind of cool, like having the scroll. Definitely hard to capture in a picture, but pretty cool to like, you know, have something different, you know. So yeah.